Hello, traders. Welcome to my desktop. Let me know there in the chat, in the YouTube chat, if you see my screen and you hear my voice. Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. Oh, good. Hey, guys. I was wondering. Thank you, Pepe. Thank you, Gervain, Applock, Trader77. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. All right. Crazy market, man. Crazy market. Gave back some today. I've got to get out of this rest of this Tesla. I'd scalped some earlier, but it is not working. So bear with me real quick. Got to manage positions in this crazy market. All right. And what I mean by crazy market, we're seeing a lot of just rotation back and forth. Today it's energy strong. I don't like swing trading energy because you wake up one morning and tech is strong and oil is weak and you got big gap downs. AI alert going off. It's probably hitting the 20 there. Yeah, well, not interested. Yeah, Momo, a few of these China stocks, TCOM hurt me today. Man, yeah, that one. Luckily, I was in a lot yesterday, but yeah, I couldn't get going, so I sold it. But yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I don't want to give up on it, even though it's underwater. I obviously will give up on some of it. I sit through that move down this morning, but yeah, that one is a little bit painful. Basically, almost giving up all my gains in that thing. But anyway, yeah, China for the most part, Baba. I wish I'd have been able to pick up some this morning in the pre-market when it was trading down before that news came out. But that's basically kind of all I have left. Is a few China stocks. But like I said, giving back a little bit of a chunk today, but uh, that's okay. It's been a nice run in a lot of these Chinas, so you just gotta uh, what's the old saying? It's something about grinning and taking it or something like that. But yeah, I'm not crazy about this market, even though I mentioned the other day on Trader TV. I mean, even though we're sitting here flirting with all time highs, it's just not liking what I'm seeing in the price action and the rotation, and you got financials up one day, energy up the next. So uh, just crazy stuff. Oh, and a red flag, was about, oh gosh, it's been about a month ago. These setups, which typically, you'll get on in a good bull market, maybe 65, 70% of these setups, kind of working or at least attempting initial move. But boy, not seeing that lately over the last month. So that tells me there's some underlying selling going on in this market. And I'm gonna, yeah, Momo's hanging on there. Not bad if it can get back up. I like that it's kind of trying to break this wedge, but it's kind of above that wedge area right there. So I just need it to keep above, that 750 range. Obviously, in the morning when you get these stupid gap downs, when China overseas is down 1% and they try to gap these things down 3%, it's just crazy. All the sexy stocks, the nano nukes, quantum computers not doing very well. Same thing with the AI stocks, seeing some give back today, even in this monster BBAI. Now, what I'd like to do is set an alert in this thing if it comes down, meets that 10 period moving average, maybe. Find myself doing that a lot. The spies are going lower. Yeah, yeah. Apple obviously is trying to play Atlas and hold up the market. You see this a lot when you see weakness in technology. For some reason, all the money starts flowing into Apple. Sure, not flowing into the rest of them. And they see Netflix is giving some back. Uh, Amazon is giving some back. Tesla is definitely continuing its decline. Now, here's an alert where you do have an area of interest. You can see all these after this gap up right here. Now, it may want this gap, eventually. Let me drop one of these down here. May want that gap. Who knows? May want it today. But you do have an area. You got lows right here. Let's take a look at them. 330 is a level. 332 there. 334 there. 335 there. So you got a lot of lows going back after this gap up. So we'll see if this is an area where it can get a bounce. Go to. I haven't looked in that in for a while. It's funny. I almost bought that thing back over here below two when China started bouncing, but EDU is another one that's hasn't been playing ball that had a nice move today. Out of that, I had an alert go off this morning, but when you're trying to manage everything, you don't want to. Beak is performing well. I got some left over from the other day. Billy's still being a fool, uh, but I know this one just can have some crazy moves. And spies are going lower. Fox has been. It's not a bad looking chart. Had that little drip down there that didn't quite get the. Yeah, we'll call that a gap fill. It's close enough. Let's see. The low is 433, 49.33. Yeah, I guess we can call that a gap fill on the list today. Checkpoint's been holding up very well. That was my top pick today, but tough market to get anything going today. I'd like to see if this goes to highs. I may have to add to this bad boy. Can I make up and save layout like yours on a free membership? No, True Seeker. I'm sorry. The free membership's only going to give you access to our dashboard. Okay, so you will have access to our dashboard. I'm not going to click into it because what happens is it takes me off my. Uh, but if you create an account, okay, and you'll see your name over here once you've created it. This is where you can go and create an account, and then you go to My Trade Ideas. That's going to take you to the dashboard. Yeah. And there you will have it'll be delayed quotes. Obviously, we have to pay for data fees, so uh, we can't just give them away for free accounts. But you know, it's still some cool stuff to look at, even if it's 15 minutes delayed. But yeah, to get this access, you will have to have a subscription. Ooh, that's some ugly drawdowns. Beak, a little volume coming in. I almost bought some more of that when it went through, but gosh, I just didn't want to. CHPT charge point. Ugh, is that the one you're referring to, or did you mean to type something else? Yeah, I traded this a lot too back when they were kind of sexy, but man, that's ugly. You got that. You got plug power, which has been kind of in that same. Yeah, these things are done. Bagu, I'm unable to get my head around Holly's AI strategy trades. Most often than not, these pop the window after the stock has made its move, but the trade wave B buy tag would have triggered at the right time. Let's see. Well, yeah, you know, Chris Varley did a good video on how this we call this kind of an assistant. And first of all, I mean, the people who trade this the best, they do so discretionarily, and they'll look for some setups, that are performing. I mean, on the daily chart, and obviously in the market that we have right now, there's a lot. There's not a lot of programs that are working very well because we're getting a lot of back and forth news driven market, and it makes it tough for any direction. Uh, And obviously, a lot of times you will have profits in these things. Okay. Our AI will not get you out of these things. It's looking for more, possibly for those that want to trade it over a longer time frame. A lot of these stocks can be done great on a swing trade. I mean, if you see them breaking out on volume and breaking out of a range, they can be okay, here's an example. Okay, so if you got this one at 6:06 this morning, okay, you look at Holly and you go, "Oh man, that was a crap pick." But look what happened. At 6:06, it ran all the way up to 686. So there was some great alpha there, some great opportunity to make an incredible scalp. So this is what I'm saying when people trade these things discretionarily. They good traders will jump in this thing, and they'll first of all they'll scalp out some really quick, and obviously if it comes back through your entry, they'll get out. So uh you still have to trade them. They're ideas, they're stocks that are in play typically, and they're ideas, but you still have to trade them. And keep in mind, the backdrop of the market. It's I've noticed when we're in a lot of back and forth in the market, this is probably why you're seeing a lot of uh shorts today that they didn't work, but I shouldn't say some of them may be working. Okay, this one was just recently called. See, that could potentially work if it reverses. And this is an idea where you say, okay, wow, it's heading up, right? I don't know want to jump in the front of this freight train, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for a potential bar reversal. And this is what I'm talking about how traders might trade this. They're saying, okay, it's heading up right now. It did have a nice downdraft this morning. I'm going to put an alert right here. And if it breaks through this 573, I may consider shorting that. Okay. So uh, we'll set it just in case maybe it happens during this. But this is what I'm talking about. Well, don't feel like you have to just run in and jump in these things, often. You can, especially these shorts. A lot of these times they'll give you even a better, uh, a better. This is one that went off at 688, came all the way down to 567.55. So you had a buck 30 in that trade potentially. There goes that Tesla alert. I'm not interested right now though. So there you go. I mean, so a good trader may scalp this out, came back, went through your entry, boom, you're out. May set up again. So no, you cannot combine. Now, what you can do is you can do this, Ragu. You can uh, go. Let me pull up my go no go chart, 5 minute chart. So you can have a separate chart over here like this, right? And then you can put it in, and it does work. Now you're not going to get the AI signals in this chart like you're going to get it, but you can still, trade this, uh, use it. Maybe when this maybe rolls over, starts turning that uh, lavender color, maybe you could take a shot at it. So that's the way to do it. You just create your own go no go chart, save it to the cloud, and you can pull it up, and you can pull up anything you want in here. GDS. Let's take a look at this. Okay. China play, if you were long this, maybe considering getting it out, turn into that neutral color. If it turns back into this neutral color, maybe you consider getting out. And right now it's right at the entry. And once again, you had a point in that if you'd have taken that trade. Now you got a little downdraft there, but nonetheless. So that's the way I would do it. Just create you a go no go chart, and then you can click on any of the Holly symbols, and it will be in that go no go chart. So that's a good idea, right? And you can do the same thing with TradeWave. You could add the TradeWave in here. Just click on your go no go chart and add TradeWave if you want to. No, yeah, that there you go. So you can do it. You just cannot get it, inside the Holly. I didn't know if you were looking for like signals inside the Holly program. You can't do that, but obviously you can create your own trade wave or go no go chart and use that. That's a good idea, Ragu. Uh, I probably would do the same thing if I was trading this. Good questions though. Yeah, checkpoint. Checkpoint. Yeah, I seems like I choose to trade that. This thing's getting close. I just don't trust breakouts in this market lately, but that's a beautiful chart. And you are going to deal. I traded this back when it was 30 and $40 when the spread was a penny, and now it looks like the spread's probably about 35. Let me know what the spread is on that trader 77, but probably about 30 cents, isn't it? Shouldn't be, but I mean, with that kind of float, that's not too big of a float. ATAT alert. Where did this come from? This must have been one I said a while back. Set alert. See these things showing weakness. Maybe come in and set you some alerts. That 50 period moving average. AI would be tempting here. You got an area of support and then, but just not in the mood today. But that's typically after a big 7% sell off like that would probably be an area to buy. And if that does close like this, Momo closes like this, it's going to be a beautiful setup for tomorrow. Yeah, Billy trying to go to highs. Check out. I've had a few earnings plays in here just because there was just not a whole lot on my list. So I like to put up. This performed pretty well today. Lattice is a mess. Coke is a mess. Seemed like there was one other I had in here. But yeah, I don't like trading earnings, honestly. SUUN. So there is the one we just marked up. If you didn't want to take the short from Holly, this is maybe where you could take it. You just got a nasty little cloud cover, 15-minute cloud cover there, and Solar Bank. ROM, a little intraday bounce. That got me yesterday, man. Yeah. So, it had that news come out, had a nice push. So I just threw a bid down here at 1275. And yeah, it came down, creeped forever, and then all of a sudden it just took me out and just went wham. I got out pretty quick, but it was like, good Lord, what was that? See what. Now you got a bar reversal in that AI. I mean, sometimes, overbought, oversold. I'm sorry, oversold stocks like this, they come down and they crash through a level, and then they pop, put in a couple of wicks. Those can be some really good trades, even if it's just for a scalp. Anticipate a nice bounce after a runoff like that, but I got enough stuff to babysit. Can we see Kodak chat? I'm not sure what you mean by that, True Seeker. Oh, chart. I'm sorry. Yeah, probably what you meant. Yeah, nice little bottoming tail. I was actually in that, and then sold it once it broke this 10-period moving average. I'll entertain a bar reversal if it goes back through. I just wanted to thin out. Yeah, yeah. There you have it. I mean, it's kind of in no man's land right now, pinched between the 20 and the 10-period moving average. If it does, you know, get back, yeah, this one definitely has potential. Obviously, a strong chart. The 20-period moving average has been there. Goes the checkpoint. Baba's definitely been my biggest winner in the last, I call it 3 weeks. I maintained a core position. That'll if it closes like this will be a pretty trade for tomorrow as far as on being on my trader trader's eye for a bar reversal. Heck, it may do it today. Who knows? I'll be chasing and buying it back. Take to look at some of the nano nukes. Not doing a whole lot. Not getting destroyed by any means. Actually, this one, this NNE, said where it keeps bouncing. If you're so inclined, but I'm going to stick one down here just in case it shakes out everybody and comes down to this 30 level, which could put it around the 50 period moving average, because it's been knocking on this door a few times. It may just want to get through. Check out the relative strength, see if anything's hopping today. Not sure why that one's on there. I just got a quick little move there. There's your go-to Trader 77. That Tau's been a nice mover since the breakout of this area. Basically, got a point out of it, about 8%. I noticed Intel had an alert go off today. Didn't buy it, but man, had a nice move. It's just hard to trust that thing, man. What an ugly chart. I would definitely be scalping it if I did, but yeah, that the opening range breakout channel. Okay, let's take a look. Hopefully it's in the doc channel bar. And I am going to have to take a good look at this because it's something I'm not sure what this, some of the stuff's not coming up. Maybe it's just slow. Hmm. Let's go to just the tree map seems to be. Let's try it again. Yeah, not sure why the tree map is not working, but let's put it on the top list. I kind of prefer top list anyway. All right, so these are going to be stocks that had like an opening range breakout. If we look here at the 15-minute chart, I'll just cruise into the, and this one I'm not going to look too hard on because there's no volume. And no volume. We got to put some volume filters on these things. Here's one with the filter. All right. So if you look here, this is what an opening range breakout. Okay. You have your opening range and this gap up, and you can see just a violent movement and finish at a doji. But that what that does, it sets the opening range. Okay. The high of that's going to be around 197. So what happens is when it comes back through that range, Raghu, this is going to pull up a signal. It's going to appear in the top list or the tree map, or it looks like we have a race as well. So you can, that's what you call an opening range breakout. Okay. The range is defined by the high and low of that range. Okay. If you go to the low, you're breaking out to the downside. And if you go and take out that high, you're taking out that first 15-minute high. That's going to give you an opening range breakout. That was a good one. Let's see if we see any more. Once again, a low, this is a low float, but there you have it. There's your opening range. And once it took it out, boom, a little more volume in this one. And why don't I have lines on this chart? Do something here. Yeah, I got to see lines. So this one happened, looks like pretty early. I mean, you would have got this one. There's your range. So you would have got this one on this candle right here. Would have popped in that screen. You can see nice little momentum there. This one, massive bar in the opening range. Okay, the next bar took it out. There's your opening range breakout. Once again, prop. Here's your opening range. Let me zoom in. There's your opening range. So once it took out this high, going back over here at 788, boom, you got a signal, and there it goes. I'm surprised we don't have an alert window in here though that will alert you on those things. Be a nice. Well, it's funny as you wrote that right as I was saying that. It looks like to me in this channel. Oh wait, here you go. Let's pull this up. It's down here at the bottom. Okay, so let's go to history and go to today. So you do get alerted. There's my beak. Okay, you had an opening range, and actually right here, and it took it out, and it's going higher. So there you have it. You do have an alert, opening range alert right here. Oh, that's nasty. I'm not sure why that one. Yeah, that one's probably shouldn't have triggered. Never really took out that opening range. Okay, that one makes sense. I'm gonna have to take a look at this. I don't know. Oh, maybe it's a okay. This is a 15 and it has a 50 minute, a 60 minute, and a 15 minute. Okay, so I was wondering why some of these were coming really late because these are 60 minute. So it does have a 60 minute opening range breakout and a 15. Personally, I would prefer the 15. Okay. So what you can always customize this, you can pop it out. In other words, if you don't want to have the dock up all the way, what you could do is duplicate a free floating window. If you're like me and would prefer only to see the 15, you could come in here and configure. You can go to uh, select alerts and you can take off. It has a 5 minute, a 15 minute, and a 16 minute. So you can kind of choose which one you want. Now you cannot save the channel. The channel's always going to revert back to its original state. But if you want to see this screen, what I would probably do if you don't want to see all these top lists and you just want to see the alert window, come in here and just do what I did. You can choose which ones you want to see. Personally, I would probably only want to see the 15-minute breakout. And then after you do that, Raghu, you can come in here and just save it to the cloud. Okay, so you can save it to the cloud, and this way you can just run this, then pull it up and have it on your layout. So that's you don't have to get all this other stuff. You can just use your own charts. Uh, that's what I would do. I hope it makes sense. You can do this, if you want to have be alerted. Like I said, you could pop this out and put it on your screen. Obviously, your alert's going to come in the window in real time as soon as it makes that takes out that opening range, and then you can come down here and do uh, properties and actions. Okay, and you can play sound, set up your own sound. I would probably do text to either beep or text to speech. Those seem to work the best. Got to be careful doing your custom sounds. Sometimes you can screw things up. And then what you can do is click on show alert window. And I think what will happen is it will pop up an alert when it comes through. If you click on that show alert window. Does that make sense? Make sure you hit OK. Yeah, make sure you hit OK at the end. I'm going to save this and maybe take a look at it later. I saw some pretty good setups in there. That AI bounce didn't last too long. Yeah, yeah. The pre-market, pretty straightforward. Uh, they not have the. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so basically what you're going to see here, it's pretty simple. Okay, these are stocks that are gapping up or gapping down, and I'm not sure why I'm going to do it. Put it on a top list for pre-market, I think, and it will be sorted by gap. Okay, and basically it's going to show you stocks at the top that are gapping up the most. Okay, and it's going to go in descending order. Okay, same thing for the ones gapping down. It's going to show you stocks that are gapping down, in the pre-market. Let me just take off the after hours, so see which one's pre-market. There you go. So there's your gap down in pre-market, sold off more. Looks like it had earnings after the close yesterday. Obviously, not very well. So basically, it's just for some people to do their homework. Okay, to get stocks of interest. Obviously, they're gapping up, gapping down, and this is where traders like to come in the morning, see where the action is, see what stocks are in play. Now, it's not going to this is not going to tell you what to do or give you any ideas. Okay, this is basically for you to do your homework. If you like to trade momentum, like to trade gappers. I'm not a big fan of trading gappers, but back even in my day trading days, I wasn't didn't care that much for it. But uh, so yeah, it's just a way for you to go through, look which stocks are gapping up the most, which stocks are gapping down the most, and it's not showing you a lot here. I'm not sure if you want to see more. You can go to uh, time frame, go to set record count, and you could. I don't know why it has 17 in here, but this is another case where I would probably just pop out these scans, save them to the cloud. That way, you just pull them up in the morning. Uh, but you want to set the record count. Let me share with you mine. I think mine's much better. So up gappers, top list, load, and much more compact. It's going to give you a lot more. It's going to give you, probably think I have my record count set at like 500. So you'll be able to see a lot more stock. So what I'm going to do with you, Raghu, is save and share this for you. This way you can just you can see a lot. I don't know. You can see a lot more in here, I think. And same thing, if you want down gappers, I can show you that as well. There you go. Just much more cleaner. And I'll save this for you as well. There you go. Now, what you want to do is once the market opens up, these things are just going to freeze because they're sorted by gap. So once the market opens up, you just want to close them out because they're going to be chewing up bandwidth if you just leave them up. Even though the gap freezes at the open, the other columns will continue to compute. So All right, market kind of died. Not a whole lot happening. Let me do a quick check on my China place. Beak still hanging up. Billy doesn't want to go through yet. K Web just hanging out. Momo's hanging out. And TCOM is trying to hang out. I can see it closing like this. I didn't see any news on this today. All they did is they announced their earnings coming up. And I think it's February 24th, I believe. Quick look at. No, that's okay. That's okay. That's why we do these support webinars, Raghu. So if you want to uh, ask a question. Can you please with that as well? I have another one on relative strength. I do have a relative strength one. Or do you have a question about relative strength? Or do you want to see my relative strength scan? What? Let's see how to use that. It's just a data point really that shows you the amount of volume that's coming into a stock. Let me. Relative strength is basically compares the current volume on an average of volume over the last several trading days for that time of day. So I think it's much more powerful than volume today percentage because it gives you, the. So in other words, say the market's been open for 3 hours. Okay, it's going to compare that volume over the first 3 hours of the morning to the previous trading days, and I think we go back like 10 days. So it compares the relative volume for that time of day going back to the same time of day over the prior days. So it's not, the way to use it for me is just, uh, and I'm not sure why I don't relative strength. There we go. Let me pull up this top list. So the way to use it, in my opinion, no, this is not the one I'm looking for. I know I have one. Let's see. Relative volume leaders. Is that it? Yeah. Okay. So here we go. So this right here is showing you DOMH doing relative volume of 803. And what that basically is saying is doing uh, 803 times its normal volume for this time of day. Okay, so if we pull this up, you're going to see a massive bar. Now, it's not, that doesn't mean it's going in any direction. Okay, it can be going in any, you can see this is doing huge volume. It was a gap up and it's been selling off all day. Lipo, same thing. So there's not a real question how to use. The way I would use it if I'm going through is looking for setups. Okay, like this SLQT, maybe it's got back above its 10 period moving average, looking to take out. It's taking out like a 2 hour high here that has potential to have a move to it. This one is a mess. There's your opening range breakout. Didn't last very long. That was a nice move right there. Okay, there's your opening range breakout. Not sure if that showed up on our list, but you can check and see. CSAI. This is one that's holding up pretty well. Looks like it may want to. Now this is a low floater. No, 250. I don't know if that's right, but huge volume yesterday too. So basically, it's just a way to go through and look, to see if stocks are setting up for you. Schwab, of all things, is doing high relative volume. Not sure what's going on there, but if you look here, boy, if this thing gets through this high, especially today with the relative volume it has behind it, this could be a good one. So that's kind of how I would use it. If I'm looking at relative volume, I want to see, an area where of interest, especially on the daily chart, where I may want to, consider uh, consider a buy. And I'll go ahead and share this as well. If you find something that's really moving on huge relative volume, okay, there's a real good chance. I used to do a video on momentum. I mean, a trading segment that we had each week on trading momentum, and that's the kind of stuff you want to look for. You want to look for a stock that's doing high relative volume, but is also moving in a direction. There's a trend, okay? Because there's more than likely when you have a trend with huge relative volume, it's going to continue in that trend until you run into probably some major support somewhere. Okay, that's just laws of physics. I mean, I used to compare it to like a category 5 rapids. If you had a log in that rapids, if you just had a small stream and there's a lot, moving, there's a good chance that log is going to get caught up on something, some resistance. But if you have category 5 rapids, which I associate with huge relative volume, more than likely it's going to keep that log moving down the river. But you definitely just you want to look for, strength. I mean, a trend. I mean, a lot of this stuff right now is just now this one right here, if it does get back above, now I don't like these kind of plays because I ask myself and say, okay, why hasn't the buyers been having any control since the open? Well, probably just because of the huge move yesterday, and then you had another huge move today. But so you kind of want to look for a trend. Let's see if I can find one. Well, that's definitely trending since its breakout, but it's kind of running into some areas of resistance. This was trending nicely, ran into areas of resistance. That's what I'm talking about. It trended basically for 2 hours on huge volume. And then what happened? It ran into, you know, a bridge, a dam. That category 5 rapids ran into a dam. That's what happened there. No direction. Good volume, but just no direction. And there's a DOMH poking its head up. But I'm not interested. All right. Julia says, or Julia 5. Uh, I'm semi new to trading. What would you recommend for me to do to start learning the basics? Uh, Good question. I would go to our website, okay, and go down to our education in the footer, if I can find it. There it is. Okay. And then I would scroll down and you're going to see here, we're going to have some areas of entry. First of all, I would get in the trading room. I would definitely come to these live sessions that we do. Uh, Definitely start watching these videos. And here's a back to basic. Okay. This back to basic series is where I would go. Julius. Okay. I thought so, Julius. That was my grandfather's name. He's Swedish. And we named my daughter after with Juju. So anyway, I would come down to back of basics go to our education in the footer and start watching these back to basics. Okay. It's going to teach you a lot of stuff. Once you learn, some basics on trading, then obviously, you want to start learning. If you have our software, you can start learning our software as well, because that's going to help you. Okay. Yeah, great. You're welcome. All right, good. Yeah, check them out. There's some that's really starts out elementary and will teach you some just basic stuff. Now, when you see a setup like this, for me, after a huge day yesterday and this one, it looks tasty, but I'm just going to say I'll say 8 times out of 10, if it breaks through this range, it's just going to be a head fake and come right back down. But maybe, maybe this will be that two, 2 out of 10 that keeps going. But man, all right, guys, great questions today. We got a couple of minutes left. If you have something, hit me up. Look at that AI, just a little bit of a bounce and just rolled right back over. There's some definitely some weakness in some technology stuff today, man. I know Apple's holding up, but Tesla, Nvidia is starting to get tired. Goog looks ugly. Looks like it wants to come down to this 183 level at some point. Tesla is trying to put in a little bit of base down here, like I mentioned, because you do have a ton of support over here. It is trying to put in a base. Stick a little alert if it gets back above that 10 period moving average. But only strength I'm really seeing right now is the sim. AMD was strong, but it's starting to roll over. Shop and earnings play, just a mess. And my TCOM, I just may have to cut half today if you're not going to bounce. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. Great questions, and hope you guys learned something. Keep it tight out there. I'm not crazy about this environment at all. But I think one little piece of bad news could just really rip you one if you're too long. But thank you for coming, and we will. I'll actually be back on Friday as well, and I think you'll have Dan tomorrow. You can hit him up with questions about the money machine. There's that DOMH, and you guys can see if it's going to continue after I sign off. But all right, have a good one. You're welcome, Julius. Yep, y'all have a good day too. Bye bye.